In a small, quiet village nestled between green hills and a flowing river, there lived a farmer named Daniel. He was tall, strong, and hardworking, and he spent every day tending to his farm. The soil was rich, and the land always seemed to reward his hard work. Daniel's farm was his pride, but there was one thing missing. Despite having everything a man could ask for, Daniel felt lonely. He had no children, no heirs to take over the farm when he grew old. His wife, Clara, was gentle, kind, and beautiful, but she could not have children. Clara was everything a man could want, loving, caring, and always ready to help with the chores. She had long golden hair that shined like the sun, and a smile that could brighten anyone's day. She loved Daniel deeply, and they lived together in peace. But despite their happiness, Clara carried a sadness in her heart. She had always wanted to give Daniel children, to see him happy with a family of their own. But it was a dream she couldn't fulfill. Daniel often found himself longing for a child to love, to teach how to grow crops and care for the animals. He would spend hours on the farm, thinking about how different his life would be with children running around, laughing and playing. But every time he looked at Clara, he saw the sorrow in her eyes. She tried to hide it, but he knew she felt the same way. One spring, a new woman arrived in the village. Her name was Athena. She was young, full of life, and had a smile that could light up even the darkest days. She had come to the village looking for work, and she quickly became friends with Daniel. Her laughter was infectious, and her eyes sparkled with dreams of a future filled with family. She was everything Daniel had been looking for. She longed for a family too, and when they spoke, it was as if they understood each other's deepest desires. Their connection grew quickly, and soon Daniel began to think of Athena not just as a friend, but as something more. Athena's charm wasn't just in her smile, but in the way she cared for Daniel's farm. She had a natural understanding of the land, and soon she was helping him with the crops, learning to care for the animals, and keeping the house in order. It wasn't long before Daniel found himself falling in love with her. He asked her to marry him, and without hesitation, Athena agreed. Their marriage was a simple one, but full of happiness. Athena soon became pregnant, and Daniel's heart swelled with joy. When their daughter Rose was born, followed by a son, Jack, Daniel's dream of a family was finally realized. He had the children he had always longed for, and he couldn't have been happier. The family lived in harmony, with laughter echoing through the house and the farm, thriving under their care. As the years passed, the village became more lively with children running through the streets and playing in the fields. Daniel's love for his children was clear. He would spend hours teaching them how to plant crops, care for the animals, and live off the land. Athena was the perfect mother, always patient and kind with the children. They adored her and loved spending time with her. But Clara, who had always been a part of their lives, now found herself on the sidelines. Clara had grown older, and the passage of time had begun to show. Her once vibrant energy had faded, and she spent more time alone, helping with small tasks around the farm, but feeling like an outsider in her own home. The children, though they loved her, had begun to rely more on Athena. Clara often watched from the porch as Athena played with Rose and Jack, feeling a sadness in her heart. Clara tried to keep busy, helping with the cooking and cleaning, but the emptiness grew. She missed the bond she once shared with Daniel. They had been so close, but now he seemed to have shifted all his attention to Athena and their children. Clara could still see the love in his eyes when he looked at her, but it wasn't the same. She could never give him what he truly wanted, a family of his own. And now, with Athena by his side, Clara felt she had lost her place in his life. Athena's beauty and energy had quickly won Daniel's heart, but it also started to stir feelings of jealousy in her. She knew Daniel loved her, but there was something in the way he spoke about Clara that unsettled her. He would often mention Clara's kindness, how she had always been there for him. Athena began to feel that no matter how hard she tried, she would never take Clara's place in his heart. One afternoon, while cleaning the house, Athena found an old photograph of Clara and Daniel. The two of them were young and smiling, their love evident in the way they looked at each other. Athena couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy. Why did Daniel still keep this picture? Was he still holding on to his love for Clara? In a moment of frustration, Athena decided to hide the photograph. She thought that if Daniel no longer had a reminder of Clara, his love for her might grow stronger. But as soon as she hid the picture, a feeling of guilt settled in her chest. She knew what she had done was wrong. The next evening, when Daniel asked about the photo, she lied, saying that it had been misplaced. Daniel didn't press the matter further, but something didn't feel right to him. Winter brought more than just cold winds. It brought illness to Clara. She had always been strong, but now she found herself struggling with weakness. Daniel was beside her every moment, bringing her food, making her tea, and keeping her warm. He tried to comfort her, but there was nothing he could do to stop the illness from taking hold. Athena, who had always been full of energy and life, watched Daniel care for Clara with growing regret. She realized that no matter how much she loved him, she could never replace Clara in his heart. Clara had been his first love, and their bond was something that could never be broken. Athena's jealousy slowly faded as she came to understand the depth of Daniel's feelings for Clara. She had been foolish to try to erase Clara from their lives. Clara had been a part of Daniel's past, and no matter what Athena did, that part of his life would always remain. One cold winter night, Clara passed away peacefully. Daniel held her hand as she took her last breath, his heart breaking with the loss of the woman who had shared his life for so many years. He had loved her deeply, and now she was gone. The grief was overwhelming. Athena stood in the doorway, her heart heavy with guilt. She had spent so much time trying to take Clara's place, trying to be the woman Daniel wanted. But now she saw how wrong she had been. Clara would always be a part of Daniel's life, and she could never replace her. As time passed, Athena began to reflect on her actions. She realized that she had been wrong to try to erase Clara's memory. Clara had been a kind and loving woman, and she had always cared for Daniel. Athena understood that she didn't need to replace Clara. She just needed to accept her place in Daniel's life. Athena began to help the villagers more, offering her time and skills to those in need. She became known for her generosity, and slowly, people began to see the change in her. Daniel noticed it too. He saw that Athena had grown, that she had learned to accept Clara's memory and the love that Daniel still held for her. One day, Athena decided to do something special to honor Clara. She planted a garden of flowers in Clara's memory and invited the villagers to join her. The garden became a place where people could come to remember Clara's kindness and strength. As the flowers bloomed, so did the love and understanding in Athena's heart. She had learned that love was not about replacing someone. It was about accepting their place in your life and moving forward together. With Clara's memory in their hearts, Daniel, Athena, and their children began a new chapter in their lives. The garden flourished, and so did their family. They shared stories about Clara, teaching Rose and Jack about the woman who had once been a part of their lives. The family grew stronger, bound by the love they shared and the lessons of the past. As the years passed, the village saw the change in Athena. She had grown into a woman of kindness and grace, admired by everyone who knew her. Daniel, too, was proud of the family they had built together. One evening, as they sat under the stars, Daniel said, "We've learned so much, Athena. We honor Clara's memory, but we also build a future together. I couldn't be happier." Athena smiled, holding his hand. "We've come a long way, Daniel, but we'll always keep Clara in our hearts." And so, with love, understanding, and respect, their family continued to grow stronger, forever united by the lessons of the past and the love they shared.